today we're sitting down with Mr. Martin Valentine Mitchell. He is known as the go-to engineer for the Jamaican music industry, and I would think some in the Caribbean as well. It's nice to have you, Martin. We're going to talk a little bit about you, your history, what you see for the future. We just want to get to know you a little bit better. We want persons to understand just your contribution to the music that they hear every day. We're going to go far back, way back, right? We want to hear about Martin, the young man. We want to know how it started for you. So, tell us a little bit about growing up. Where exactly did you grow up?
Well, the first 12 years of my life, grew up at 39 Summerlane Road in Brixton. I was born in East Dulwich Hospital. Yeah. A son of the first set of pioneers from the Caribbean who went to England.
Pioneers?
Yes, I would say the pioneers.
So why pioneers?
Well, they were invited to England, they never went there. They were invited there.
By who?
The British government after the Second World War.
Do you have any idea how they actually traveled there and how long it took them?
By ship. I don't know which weeks, maybe about 4 weeks.
Is that the ship they normally call the banana boat? Is that was a term?
No, to me that was just a nickname.
Okay, so it wasn't actually a ship or a banana boat.
No.
Okay. All right. So tell us about your mom.
Oh well, she went to England in 1956, had me in 1957. She worked basic jobs. That's the only jobs what black people could get back in the days, cleaning, working in the hospitals. Eventually she was a home help.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when she met your dad, I take it they didn't travel over to England at the same time. So they both traveled at different times.
No, my father went there in 1951.
Same way though.
Yeah.
Okay. So they met, they fell in love, and Martin was born.
No, hold on. This was in England.
Oh, okay.
No, they knew each other from from Newarks. Both of them come from Newarks in Westmoreland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so they went up different times.
Yeah.
And they just happened to. Was it because the Jamaican community in London was so small, like they were centered in a particular place? Could that have been?
I wouldn't say naturally. You had different communities all over the country and all over London.
Yeah.
But anywhere you saw one Jamaican, you saw all of them because they were very clannish. And people from the other island used to tell me that they like Jamaicans because they're the only islanders who stick together.
Okay. So they met.
Yeah.
And Martin was born. Right?
Yeah.
A little bit about growing up as a child in a Jamaican, surrounded by a lot of Caribbean people, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your childhood, about growing up?
Well, regular childhood, laugh and joke and get into fights every day and argument, the regular childhood. But we stick together and we were a community.
Okay.
A very independent community.
Right.
We never mixed.
So where did the love for electronics, you think, started?
I don't know. I started, in fact, there was an older friend of mine who grew up in the same house, and he started to build a radio. Then I saw him building the radio. I was around him every day. Then I decided to build a radio.
How old were you when you saw him build this radio?
Well, I was 9-10 years old when I used to be watching him every day. But I built my first one at the age of 14.
Okay, from scratch?
Yeah, bought the kit.
You bought a kit to build a radio?
Yeah.
So what was in it? Like the speaker,
all the parts.
They sold kits to build radios back then?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, continue.
So I built it. Took me a long time to get it working, but it got working. Then as I went along, I started working for this elderly Jewish man of Crystal Palace.
But the radio, you say you did it at 14, right?
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to actually finish the first radio?
I don't know.
A year?
No, not so much. I would just say maybe 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
That's long.
Yeah.
For the first time building a radio, that's not long.
Yeah.
Okay. So so you're 14, you've built your first radio, you're just okay, I like this, I can do this.
Yeah.
And then what happened next?
I started building, started building amplifiers and doing repairs. Because what I was doing, I was working for an elderly Jewish man at Crystal Palace.
So to explain to the viewer like what an amplifier is. When you say you started to build amplifiers, explain to the viewer what an amplifier is.
An amplifier boosts an electrical signal from one level to the other.
So it's like the thing that brings the sound from point A to point B.
Yeah, but makes it louder. It's called an amplitude.
Oh, okay. Alright, so you're working for the Jewish gentleman and you're building amplifiers.
Yeah, I was building amplifiers, but while working for him, I never used to take no pay. I used to take all kind of electronic goods from him. So there was this big company called Tana in West Norwood, about a mile from where I live. And I just walked in one day and said, have you got any jobs, please? And
Like that.
yeah, the man said, would you like to be an apprentice?
Of what? That particular company, what did it do?
Oh, well, everybody's sound system knew about Tana. They made speakers, and they also made what you call communication system for companies, airports.
Okay. So they were the company of the day that was into electronics and leader of the industry, you would say, at the time?
I think they were the biggest because everybody wanted a Tanai speaker back in them days. Alright, so I got an apprenticeship and they sent me to a private apprenticeship center for a year. Fortunately, because you know, growing up black them days, you have to work 3 times harder and have to be more serious. That paid off because I won an apprentice a year for electronic craft.
Okay, well done. So that's 1 year. You're in the top electronic company
Yeah.
of that, what do you call it now, that time
Yeah.
era. And you walked in, got a job, asked, you know, I want a job. They gave you one, and within a year you're
Yeah.
apprentice of the year.
Yeah.
Was there anything particular that you had to work on that, you know, singled you out from everybody else? Was there something, you know, noteworthy that you were able to do that nobody else could do?
Well, put it this way. When you went to those apprenticeship centers, you had to learn a little bit about everything.
Right.
Woodwork, welding, technical drawing, and electronics, which was my main subject.
Right.
But because before I even started formal education, I was doing it as a hustling in my bedroom at home.
Right.
I had rough knowledge of everything.
So you're apprentice of the year.
Yeah.
What next?
All right, I worked there. I think for about maybe, this was 1975. I started back at the company, and I worked there till Christmas Eve 1976. They sent me to test.
Test.
The test department, we test the equipment.
Right.
The man them said, and you know, they put me in testing and walk off of the job. They said, alright, fair enough.
That sounds
yeah.
intense, Matty.
Yeah.
What
Then
about the job? Was it because of your color? The color of your skin?
I don't know, but well, I get further. I wouldn't say the color because they put me to wiring though. And there was 2 older black men than myself in wiring, one Beach and one Jamaican. And they said, they're not teach me nothing. So I stayed in there and I actually had to figure out everything myself. But I'm glad they did that because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be in Jamaica wiring studios.
So all the different departments that you went in, you were able to use that skill that you learned in each one
Yeah.
later on.
Yeah.
Wiring. What happens next?
Well, I just figured out everything how to wire and do it neatly and everything till they started giving me more senior work to do. And one of the brother in the Jamaican one, like me and him, nearly got a fight one day because it was affecting him.
Oh, he was used to getting all the attention.
I don't know what the attention, but it's me, the supervisor was coming to with everything, with the paperwork and the drawing and everything.
So in spite of everybody, for whatever reason, saying I don't want to work with him or they're not showing him anything, nevertheless you excel to the point where you are the go-to guy in this division.
Yeah, because let me take it a little further. Once you know English language and English literature, once you have the basic practical experience, you can read and figure out anything for yourself.
Okay.
What's important.
So you figured it out, you're now the go-to guy.
Yeah.
Tell me, what happens next?
Alright. The company closed down the night. Well, they never closed down. They moved out of London. So we was on our own.
So why didn't you go with the company?
Me?
Couldn't you have moved?
Well, it was, I would just say it was maybe 300 miles out of London.
Okay, I understand.
And the next thing again, I'm not going too far from Brixton.
That's home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they got me a job. I worked at Landex, about a mile from where I live, but they terminated me within 4 weeks. My attitude bad.
Was it because you knew everything?
Eh?
What did they say? Why was your attitude bad?
Put it this way. It was a form of slavery and humbleness, and I'm not into that. I grew up free.
Okay. So the company left and you were somewhere else, but you didn't stay long. Then what?
Right. So they terminated me, and I went down to Brixton Labour Exchange. And then I saw this career management in there. Career management, sorry. I said, oh, I know you're from Tanai. We have a lot of jobs. A company have a lot of jobs. You want to go work down there in the city? I said, no problem.
City is London proper.
Proper, the city of London.
Okay.
So I said, all right. I went down there for the interview. Got the job, but them never believed me because them days me young and black and I don't.
How old were you at this time?
Me?
You were 20 yet?
No, never reached 20. I was about nearly 20.
Okay.
Just late part of 19.
Alright.
Went down there and him there, but him doubtful. Him say, we can put you on assembly. I said, no problem. You have to get your foot through the door.
That's right.
Then them said to me, after about, I want to say, 6 weeks, you think you can manage circuit boards? I said, oh, I'll try it. But this time you don't know, sir, every day me in a lot of people, house or pub or what we call shoving in London or thing. Because I was the person, any hours a night people used to call me when them equipment broke down in parties.
Okay.
So get on it. And when everybody doing 10 boards a day, sometimes we doing all 80 or 100.
Wow. Now that's what you call productivity.
Yeah. Like I said, I have to work hard for what I want.
Right.
Then them say to me, you think you can manage the mixers? I said, no problem. Anyway, I'm there working on the mixers. And there were some other test engineers. Now they started to nearly bring the Brixton side out of me. There's one white man in particular looked at me and said, if I can't handle the mixer, I must leave it. He will show me. I said, leave me alone.
So what, you couldn't handle the mixer?
I said, leave me alone. He said, then come up with some artificial argument. Oh, I'm only trying to help you. I said, oh yeah. I go out on the street and put some weapon in my pocket and come back in.
Why though?
Why? I don't play them way there. Talking those solve problems in certain instances. What happening is, and the white girls up who work upstairs must have saw me, what I did. And she must have got tell one of the director. Well, from that day onwards, nobody does say nothing to me. And it reached a stage where sometimes they have emergency mixers, and even the director stand up behind me, passing me the tools.
Okay. So you have mastered all the departments you have got.
Yeah.
Assembly, then you went to wiring.
Board and
Now
mixer.
you're at the mixer. Okay, so what next?
No, further, then one day they call me one side and say, you interested in training some of the staff? I said, no problem. He said, oh, we can't give you no extra pay though. I said, listen, everything all right. Because what happening is, there was a Scottish lady who used to work for me. And through them days there, I used to stand up joking around all day, and so I do show her what to do and she do most of the work, and then I go over it afterwards. And she learned the work. So they asked me to train the next lady, plus any testers who come in and want assistance, I assist them.
Right.
So, no problem.
So you're a trainer now.
Yeah.
But all, because what I'm seeing this the trend, or
Yeah.
like, it's like with every new department, with every new task, with every new assignment, you are basically piling on the experience that you need now to do the
Yeah.
transition. So, all right.
And that,
I'm sure you didn't know that at the time, though.
well, everything at them here was subconscious.
Right, you're just doing it, but you're not aware that all of this is leading
Yeah.
to something.
Because, let me take it further. Growing up in London, especially with Jamaican parents, subconsciously, they never realized they were doing it. They grew us up exactly like how the wealthy white people grew up their kids. It's only us used to have to go out early to find something to do. And that's how the elderly white people, the privileged white people used to treat their kids. Go work for your uncle, go do something. To learn how to help yourself.
Right.
Yeah, so we grew up like that. You have to learn to help yourself.
So you're now training,
Yeah, training people.
and then what?
Well, and then what? Take it a little further. That's where I met some of the best friends in my life.
And they're still friends to today.
Yeah, white and black. And to take it even further, I met some friends there where all of us used to party. Everybody was having their 21st birthday party at the same time. Until two of us came to a arrangement. Like how we know such people, let's keep dances and boat trips and whatever. And our next business
Came out of that.
came out of the working at the company. We started doing productions, mostly parties. And them days they had like a small sound system.
Because you could actually build whatever source you want to
Yeah.
get the best sound and be the best sound.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I want to know how did all of that? You are successful. You're doing well at work. You know, you have another business. You have good friends. Jamaica.
What friends?
No. How you reach Jamaica?
Well, that's back to Soundcraft again.
Okay.
A lot of the people there were from all over the world. And all of them used to say the same thing. If you decide to come and live in my country, you do very well. Now we're talking about places like the Far East, mostly Africa, Caribbean, and where else? No, they never met much people from Latin America.
Okay. So Jamaica.
Why
I want to know though, before you actually came to Jamaica to live,
Yeah.
did you ever go like as a child for vacation? So you've never been to Jamaica. You know your parents are from Jamaica and you talk the language, you know the language and the culture, but you've never been.
And then they were no interest in Jamaica.
Then what happened?
I was planning to go to Libya or Kenya. One of those.
Okay, and?
Because what happening is, what you would earn maybe 6 months in the United Kingdom, maybe you could earn that in a month in Libya.
So why Jamaica?
But no, my father then took early retirement. No, he got early retirement. He was a refuge collector. I said, Martin, we don't come to Jamaica with me. He said, all right.
So this is your first visit? It
Yeah,
wasn't with an intention of staying, nothing. You just...
Me in 1982,
And how old were you?
25.
25. Alright.
And the night we came to Jamaica, as soon as I hit after immigration's customs, they said, well on there, you do electronics? I said, yeah. He said, well, if you decide to come and stay in Jamaica, you'll have a very good career. That's all they said to me. They stopped me and I went out.
And that was it?
Yeah. What?
That was... No, I mean, that's all it took for you to...
Yeah. But I go further. The next day, wake up in New Works. Between New Works, a place called Bag, down the road, and all the way down in St. Elizabeth. What do they call it? Where Carmel Church is, that area. Everybody know about me. I hear say I was coming.
How so?
Yeah.
How did the word get out?
I don't know. But everybody had something to fix. People even tied them television and then donkey carried it up to my uncle's house.
Wow.
Yeah. But
So right away, were you earning? Because, you know, sometimes people take advantage, you know. They'll say, oh, fix this for me, but they want to give you a chicken instead of... cash.
No, not that, not really, you know. I mean, they used to pay. I mean, I know what they could afford to charge them, and by the time I get up the pay, that finish in the rum bar.
Oh,
So I never really come here to earn no money to that.
right.
And then a lady asked me to fix her fridge one day down in Black River. I went down there, nothing wrong with the fridge. I think a technician was trying to rip her off. Anyway, I connected it back for her. Never charge her much. Next minute, a man in the bar says she walking around telling the whole of St. Elizabeth that anything they want to fix come to me.
Okay. So the whole parish is coming to Martin now.
Yeah, well, I was only in Jamaica for, I think it was about 6 weeks.
Alright, so you left, you're back in London. What next?
I saw an interview for an electronic teacher at Tivoli Girls High School.
Right.
So a friend of my father had a truck, so we jumped on the back of the truck and ended up at my uncle's house in Maxfield Avenue. Then I just went down to Tivoli and took the interview.
And got the job?
Yeah,
So you now have a job in Jamaica.
yeah.
The pay, did the pay turn you off? Because you were saying you were thinking what you can earn in London, you could earn that in less time in Lebanon. So
No, well,
what was the pay like in Jamaica compared? In
well,
comparison?
I wasn't even worried about the pay because I was making so much money in London that even when I got my paycheck or my pay packet, that went straight into the post office. I never had to spend that. So I never come here thinking about money and getting paid. It's just to establish myself.
All right, so you're in Jamaica and you moved directly to Kingston because you're now going to Tivoli Gardens to teach.
Yeah.
So what was the transition like for you from a Jamaican parent, you're of Jamaican parentage, but you were born in London, grew up in London, and then you're just thrown into Jamaica. Was it much different from the culture that you were exposed to as growing up in London?
There's only one simple difference.
What was that?
London have more people and it's bigger physically. So the good thing with London, if you're a technician or architect or a doctor or whatever, you can live in a complete community. Where in Jamaica now you have to mix up with everybody. That's the only problem.
And that was an issue for you? That was like your only culture shock, you think?
I could deal with it because it was a problem dealing with it. And I tell you the honest truth, the only people that try to make me feel uncomfortable in Jamaica is other people who used to live abroad and come back home. I never have a problem with none of the local Jamaicans, especially down Tivoli teaching them children and grandchildren. That was everybody's friend.
Tivoli was Tivoli the volatile garrison community at the time you were there, or?
Well, let me let you a secret. London more violent than here.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Here, can I say something? People fight for reasons over here. People fight in London just for the sake of going up on a Friday night to fight. A man will just say, black this and nigger that punch in your face and you have to fight. I've never had experienced that in Jamaica.
Alright, so Jamaica was an easy transition for you.
Easy.
Alright, so you're teaching. So how did Mitchell Enterprises get started?
Oh no, that was a long time afterwards. What I used to do, I used to just run around. When I just come, I was up and down the place fixing things. Like mostly for churches and medical centers and individuals. But what happening is, I was in the NCB halfway tree, like about 2 months afterwards. And I went up to a gentleman and said, "Can I borrow your pen, please?" So he looked at me and said, "I'm going to let out my pen." So two other brothers stand up and I walked over there. "Excuse me, sir, can I borrow your pen, please?" One of them looked at me and said, "What kind of way are you speaking in Jamaica?" He said, "How long you been out here?" I said, "I'm working out here, I'm teaching at Tivoli and thing." So "Where you teach electronics?" He said, "Well, on there. I know somebody who need somebody like you, you know." I said, "All right, when you're ready, come for me." And 2 days later they come for me. And we went up to this studio in Stony Hill called Music Mountain.
So you finished the studio for him?
I go up there, finish it off, I was doing all the repairs and things, but I wasn't asking him for no money because I never want no money for eat or fool my belly or whatever. So when I did want my money, I tell him how much I want. Him say, not pay me that. He pay me what he feel like. I say, you will keep it. So I just walked off.
So that was the first studio in Jamaica that
Yeah.
you worked on.
But by being up there, I started to meet everybody, most people in the business. And one day out of the blue, I get a phone call if I can come up.
The same gentleman.
Yeah. And then what happened is, Third World Band wanted to black book the studio. And a few things wasn't working. So he draw out the checkbook and write me a check for even more money than what I asked for. I said to him, here what, I only want one work for. And give me a check for that. So I started out the studio. And I took that money by US. No, before I bought US, I bought a blue flight case from him. I see him standing on it used it as step ladder. I said, hello, me buy it. See, whatever you owe me, take a percentage of it and give me that flight case. I had my intentions for it. Anyway, I took it from him, and the following 3 months I bought a 1-day return to Miami, and I bought a full set of test equipment. Although studio business was the business them days, I saw it as a long-term venture.
Okay, so it was an investment.
Yeah.
Right.
So, up and down the place, still teaching and working,
Most in studios are just doing odds and ends.
doing everything. The studio thing only got maybe popular for me in 1986. I met a gentleman who owned the studio called CRS. And I was doing work, he was building a studio, so I got up there, I assisted him. And then he told I think Donovan Jeremy in the Penthouse used to use his studio. So he was looking for somebody to come, same thing again, finish off the studio. So the gentleman from CRS told Donovan Jeremy about me, and Donovan Jeremy got in contact with me. And I was wiring him studio and doing all the repairs still, and decided to move to Balata.
Okay. What's it called now? Because Balata
Same penthouse, but then after a few years, one North American down there, so everybody started to run to him.
Right. So we're seeing how you're still teaching. We're seeing the odds and ends is there, but we're seeing the work for the studios evolving. So when you worked for this major client in 1986, did the word spread? Was it that somebody in the studio who needed another repair work saw you? How did it move from there?
Oh yeah, because from, I was saying, by 1980, let's go back, 1983, 1984, word was getting around. I was working for Zappao and what's that road name? Oh gosh, Ripon Road. And then the following year I started doing work for Third World.
Third World had their own studio?
No, it was a more rehearsal.
So they would want somebody there to tune and to ensure that the equipment or the instruments were working.
Yeah, fixing the equipment and.
I have a question. What was happening in Jamaica in terms of technicians? Because people were building studios, but was it that there was no technician of note in the island? Did they have to fly in technicians to do the wiring when they were building studios? Is that what was happening?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, a lot of Jamaicans who are good technicians, but they don't have no interest and associating themselves with the technical part of the music business.
Right.
Because it's easier for them to go work for a company, appliance traders, D&G, whatever, and get them salary and survive off that.
So you're saying that there was nobody that these persons building studios could depend on then on a day-to-day basis to get the job done for them. It would always be like a after work kind of job, which would take long and cost them more money. Yeah,
and there was only one other person down here doing them time. Well, there was two. There was one gentleman working at Dynamics, and he was so glad to see me. And there was a next gentleman now. He's Oriental background. He originated in England, but he's Oriental. And everybody would go to him to come wire them studio, fix it, and he'd tell them to come to me.
So, okay. Did he stay in Jamaica long after
He's
got here?
He's still here.
He's still here.
Yeah, he's still here.
Still doing technician work?
Well, he works Tough Gang now 3 Mile. I don't know if he's still doing it, but he's still here.
Alright. So how long did you continue at Tivoli when the work for the studio started to come in on a regular basis?
I only worked there for 2.5 years because actually it started to get a bit unpleasant down there. So and within the 2.5 years I was there, all kind of company directors and everybody building dark horse hotels and all that invited me to come and work for them. But I said, listen, I make a commitment to the school. I can't just walk off for the sake of money. But some of the bad experiences was going too far. Only one good thing happened there, that some Canadian investors came down there one day on a visit. And they visited the school. And they went back, made some money and assisted the school. And then there was a big media parade afterwards, you know. And I got mentioned. Back in the 80s, 1985, no, I left the job in 85, so 85, 86 and 87, I was just basically going around and just fixing, wiring studios, doing anything. I wasn't formally employed. But I went to London 3 times, 3 months each one of those years, because what happened is up there, they give free courses.
Right.
So I went up there and I took all of these free courses, because you have to keep yourself advanced, because them days analog was being integrated with digital.
So you were there for the transition from analog to digital.
Yeah.
And would you say that you were the person who transitioned easiest, especially in the Jamaican landscape? You know what I mean? You were on top of it.
Yeah.
You weren't the one that, you know, wasn't there yet.
Yeah, because I spent buy my plane fare, got to England and took the courses.
And none of they weren't actually doing training like that in Jamaica at the time.
No, I taught a little digital at Tivoli, but it wasn't much.
Not enough to go into a studio.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 1986, late part, the owner of TRS invited me to come into a business with him and some other friends.
TRS, who's TRS?
TRS recording studio.
Okay, in Jamaica.
Yeah. This business was satellite dish business. It just took off in Jamaica.
Right.
Yeah. Started off great. Second year Hurricane Gilbert come along and that really put a boost to the business.
That was when all the satellite dishes were flying off people's houses, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is before cable, where the satellite dishes were all on one building.
Yeah.
They were on everybody's houses.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were instrumental in putting some of those satellite dishes on the houses.
Yeah.
Did you sell satellite dishes?
I never sold them. What happened was that people go buy them themselves and I would assemble it for them. And private customers, I used to service the dish for them, the electronics. And then when cable started to come in, you used to have a lot of people in the lower income areas who used to come to me and for advice. They want to put up 1 or 2 or 3 dishes and send cable to the neighbors and everybody's houses. So I assisted with that. Well,
none of the larger companies. Did you set up any of the larger companies like the Telstars at the time? I don't remember the rest of them. There were quite a few.
I did little repairs for some of them, but we was at Video Satellite.
Okay.
But,
So I'm sure you must have worked with a number, or in the studio while a number of artists, you know, some of the songs that we hear out there, been in the studio while these songs were being recorded.
Yeah.
To the best of your recollection, which was the first artist that did a recording in the studio that was heavily, if not totally, digital?
I would just say, I would be roughly, when semi-digitally, I would just say, the first set of hit songs that come out of Penthouse was done on semi-digital equipment.
And those were what we call rhythms, right?
Rhythms, yeah.
So the digital, when we talk about like the digital influence or the heavy digital, is when we're talking about a rhythm. So it's like just the bass of the song. I mean, the artist would populate the song, but the rhythm that run through that is a digital rhythm, right?
Yeah.
It's not a drum set, it's just a rhythm.
Alright, I can answer that question now. I would just say that maybe like Cutty Ranks, Perry Salmon, Buju Banton, Mass Sacrifice, all of those first set of hit singers will
Give
come
me
out
the
of it.
name of a rhythm.
Because
all of them have names.
Pop, 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 pop. The one with Baban did though. I don't know the name of the rhythm. Pop, 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 pop.
That's a rhythm? That's a rhythm?
Yeah, they digitized it afterwards.
After or before?
No, Baban did it back in the studio one day, but then they did it out on drum machines and sequences.
And who recorded on it after it was digitized?
All those artists are there.
Okay, but that's far back, man.
Yeah, that's far back.
That's like Bob Marley did still alive them time there?
No. You look at that.
Sorry, I'm bad.
But maybe 1989, 1990.
Because that rhythm is, I know that rhythm. Okay, alright, so my era, I'm familiar with the rhythm. Honestly, I'm familiar with one rhythm, Pepper Seed. What was before that? Was there a rhythm before that?
Yeah, those rhythm. No, all of them come out of the same studio.
And that was a digital rhythm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I tell you how I got involved in that. One day, one of Penthouse asked me if I know anything about tuning room. I said, yeah. He said, go on about your business, you don't know nothing. I said, listen, you see me begging you anything? Then say, alright, go and tune the room or do something. So the room never had a bass trap them days. That's that unit there over there, you see? That's the bass trap. So I designed one for him. And a carpenter named Benson built it. Then I went in there with a spectrum analyzer. That's what he used to tune the room. It wasn't even a professional one, it was a domestic one. It had a regular vocal mic, and it's that we used to tune the room. And then afterwards, you had two brothers, the Kellys, Tony Kelly. No, I tuned it first with Dave, and then Tony called me, so me and him tune the room. For 4 days straight was in there, just keep going over it.
And that's how Pepper Seed was born?
No, it wasn't Pepper Seed. That was the first rhythm what I hummed to you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, and I think it was that Kelly studio that also produced Pepper Seed, if I'm not like,
I don't know if he had a studio then, but they both used to work for Penthouse.
But they did the Pepper Seed, the Kellys.
Yeah, one of them, yeah.
Okay. Alright, so let's move on a little bit. When did stage shows start? When did you get involved in like working on major productions where there are live performances on stage?
I'm doing it from a youngster in England, but here, where Third World have the rehearsal. No, before that, when I was Ripon Road, he used to have like a small PA system, so I used to up and down with it. And then I started hanging around with Third World. They used to keep little functions behind the rehearsing studio.
Right.
And one day the manager turned to a show promoter and said, yo, make we chop the yard and keep a show called Dancehall 84. And the show producer take the idea and go hire Harborview Drive-In and keep a show called Dancehall 84. And that was the first big major dancehall show.
That you worked on the light. You don't work on lighting, you just do...
I do everything.
So you're lighting, sound,
everything. Yeah.
And I mean, I can imagine there are many more shows that follow.
The following year you had shows like, I think Sting came afterwards. You had this one at Fort Clarence.
Was that the first year of Sting?
Fun?
Was that the first year of Sting?
I think 85 was the first year, if I'm not mistaken.
So the party was 84, so yeah.
No, Dancehall 84 was 1984.
So that was the first Third World and then Sting?
No, it wasn't Third World show. It's the manager of Third World gave the man the idea, but it was to keep round at the back of Third World, not the Harborview Drive-In.
Okay. Alright, so Sting.
You had Sting, you had one named Fresh out of Fort Clarence, then you had a lot of them, South to the East, you name it, there was so much shows.
Any off island? That's,
what shows? Well, I think I must have gone off the island 2 times with Third World. And yeah, I used to go off the island with different artists, but here the thing with off the island, bad experience with Turkey. I decided so any time I travel it's just for joyride. I never see an island or a country, so it's just a joyride for go to that country and I work for free.
So you don't really do studio work outside of Jamaica and England?
I do, yes, but it's not something I like doing because, funny enough, you know, outside of maybe Britain and the United States, Jamaica is the only technical place when it comes to music.
Some people would find that hard to believe.
It's true. Hold on there. I get a call 2 days ago from Barbados to come down there for service, maybe about half a dozen tape machines. Now this is Barbados, 98% literacy.
And they can't handle this kind of work for themselves?
No, they don't. None of the islands are most of the top technicians on these islands. They all end up in Canada or the United States. You know, maybe there's not enough work back home for them.
Okay. I can understand that. So do you think technicians like yourself, do you think they get enough recognition? Do you think they get the recognition that they deserve? Do you think you get the recognition that you deserve?
Not the only people who want to give me recognition is maybe people in the entertainment business or if it's the people in the medical field. Give me them, most probably would give me the highest respect when they see me come into a medical center and service a piece of equipment.
But I mean, like your name in some kind of, calling your name and saying, shout out to the technician, Martin Mitchell, anything like that.
Only in the environment.
While you're there.
Yeah, or when people recommend me and talk about me.
But not for other people, like a lay person like myself, to know that Martin Mitchell is the guy.
I'll tell you how bad it is. I live in England. If I walking down the road and I say, see Martin Mitchell there, technician, person shall lie that.
Why?
What?
Is it that because they know of you, but they don't think that that's you?
Yeah, because guess what? For realistic, from I've been a teenager till now, 95% of the people in the business is white men from privileged background.
So you come across as unassuming.
I mean,
you just come across as meaning they probably think of a technician of your expertise and caliber, as straight jacket, a particular persona, a particular, and so you come across unassuming, so they'll see you and they think what they know of the expertise that you have and the persona that you present, they don't necessarily think that. No,
I don't know. You know what the problem is? Most of the technicians I grew up with, right? We're good friends and things, like I said, white privileged background. If you see them, majority of them, they all look like, if the one of the owner Soundcraft, they all look like Einstein. Long hair, long beard, shorts, don't care. Always have a ganja sniff in their mouth, whatever. Me being black, I'm supposed to have on a suit and tie and behave a certain way and all that. That is the problem of being black in the business.
So what you have chosen to do instead then is just be the best.
Yeah.
So regardless of how whatever they want to paint on your image they want to put to you just be the best. So you can't deny the undeniable, right? Would you say?
Yeah, because they will say things like that. Put the clothes in my van. If not even drive a car, this, that and the other.
And that's by choice, by the way.
Me?
You not driving is a choice.
No, here I don't drive. I have low blood sugar. And if I sit down somewhere too long, I drop asleep.
Oh, okay. So it is by choice. You choose not to drive.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so we've talked a lot about your story, the different artists that you've worked with, from the beginning to the middle. Now we're at this juncture in your life, right? Jamaica, the music is fully digitized. Yeah. We have world class artists in the reggae music. Yeah. How do you feel about reggae music now? How do you feel about the future of reggae music? The music and then the technique, the work that goes behind the music. Talk about the music first.
I think since the computer come in and is fully digitized, it's been watered down.
You think so?
Watered down a lot because You have people now in the Far East and Africa playing, and even Europe and California playing reggae better than a lot of Jamaicans.
Do you think is it the digitization of the music that has caused the watering down?
Yeah, because what happening is, it's a cheaper way of producing music.
So anybody can do it in them
Yeah.
bedroom. Them
Yeah.
just buy like a machine and music.
You can buy a little Yamaha or Casio keyboard and just touch reggae and you're playing reggae and just change it up a little bit.
But what does that mean then for technicians like yourself? Is that good for you? Is that bad for you?
Well, it's bad because there's no work around. Where I survive, I do freelance R&D. I've been doing it from 1986.
What's R&D?
Research and development. And I do design equipment.
Okay.
And build it.
So that is where the bulk of your attention is now, and that's where the bulk of your earnings come from now, the actual development of new equipment.
Yeah, but put it this way. It's based in London still.
Okay.
The formal part of it. But it's cheaper for me to live in Jamaica. Yeah.
So you're pretty much, you live here but you work here.
Right, yeah.
Well, many people are doing it these days, especially with COVID.
Yeah.
So the reggae music you think is being watered down. Do you think there's any future? Do you think there's any artist now that is actually recognizing that they need to stop a little bit and try to hold on to the richness of reggae, the music, the foundation of the music? Do you see any hope that there's anybody recognizing that, hey, we can't lose this? And if we continue just digitizing and just making rhythm and not going back to the core, we're going to lose it. Is there any artist you think that is standing out to you as somebody who recognizes the need to remember the foundation?
I'm going to let you into a secret. This is since COVID coming. A lot of artists and musicians them is going back to doing good professional work. Because now there's no parties and no dancehall to play certain music.
Right.
And certain music you cannot play in your house, especially in front of your children. So you have to be making good music now.
Not just the words, you know. I'm talking about the
Well,
instrumentality, the just the how should I say it now? Instead of using like a digital board, and you actually use an instrument, for goodness sake, you know.
Yeah,
play a drum.
Yeah, that
play
is
a guitar.
That is coming back now.
It's coming back now.
Yeah, because you have a very successful singer out here. I'm gonna call him Alvaro Rossi. And most of his music is produced by proper instruments and musicians. And right now, it's only maybe 2 artists I know can play at a concert or a festival and pull a big crowd, maybe even Barry Salmon. That's how their music
and
is.
he's one of those artists that actually has stayed true to reggae.
Yeah.
You know, the foundation sound of reggae.
Yeah.
What you call it, the rhythm, there's a rhythm. Reggae is 2 things. Is the slow organ, the on the drums, that's all? Or is that the piano? The
powerful kick and the powerful snare.
Right. So is the organ, the beating of the organ, the drum, and the snare. Well, it's the drum has the snare.
Snare, yeah.
So we would say that he's probably one of the few artists left that is still using that core reggae.
Yeah.
I don't know why people lose that though, because that rhythm is that sound is it transcends. You know what I mean? It just, you know, people who can't dance can always sway to that one. You know, you get off key, off beat, you get it right. You just can't miss.
Well, let me give you an example. The same music I used to be listening to in the late 70s and the 80s, I have a sound system. And if I want to pull a crowd, drink sell off and all that, that's the music I have to play, whether I'm in London or Jamaica.
Music, you have to play real music.
Yeah. Even kids come up to me asking me if I can give them a flash drive for the music.
So that's what's next for you, right? It's continuing to do your R&D, getting into development. So when we open back again, when everybody is back to normal and COVID and mask and party start keep again, do you see a place for yourself as a technician in the industry?
Well, because of the lockdown in the COVID, and I do a lot of business with China, because companies up there where I do R&D from. But I don't take cash from them. I take equipment. So I've taken enough equipment now to set up a production rig. And I'm trying to go into business now with an academy what's associated with music. So
is it to teach?
Well, teach plus after the students, how would I put it now? Not all the students going to be interested, but the serious one them who want practical experience, I'm going to have equipment for them where they can get, like I said, hands-on.
Right. I think that's needed.
Yeah.
And what I love about, you know, talking to you, I understand that it's not just boards that you fix. When you say engineer, you are, so pretty much anything with a circuit board, you're able to fix it.
Yeah.
Right. And that is, I think that's key, because a lot of our, we have a lot of persons in Jamaica that will say, oh, I'll fix, they can come in and they can fix your printer for you. But if there's something that's affixed to the printer that is not exactly this little thing, they don't know how to recognize one that it could be that, and therefore address the problem, because they're so focused in on this one little area. So to have them a little bit broader, you know, more holistic in their approach to the work, then, you know, I think that's what we really need in Jamaica, people who understand, and to be able to, you know, for your school to be able to teach them by giving them the hands-on, to be holistic in their approach. It sounds like a vicious cycle to me. It sounds like, how do we keep good and talented, you know?
But you never hear what I said earlier.
Which is?
95% of who is in the business grow up privileged and white.
So they are here.
Huh?
So
no, not here. Most of the time you want them here, you fly them in. Because you have to remember, you know, if I put down this, right, sometime it might be take me, what, a week, 2 weeks, even a month to find the problem. And that's the way electronics is. They don't have to spend a month to get the part. Okay. The average person living in Jamaica cannot live like that. He need money for tomorrow or the end of the week. Worse still, if he's a responsible family man, he has to have money. So you cannot put him in a studio situation.
We have to find a way to address it though, and I'm hoping that this, you know, the school or the institution that you're about is to set up will go a long way in assisting us in, you know, holding on to some of the talent that we cultivate in this little rock called Jamaica.
I got the example. A few weeks ago I was down at Alpha and I was running just a rock class, because we just built our band room. And I was showing the youngsters them how to operate the mixer. You know, it was not sophisticated as this. And they showed so much interest and love. And I said it to the person what hired me for the job. I said, that's the way I love to see youngsters. And I got the shock of my life when they told me that most of them is troubled youngsters. See, if you teach people what they love and they want to do, they'll learn it quick and they'll be very good at it.
Very good at it.
But you cannot send them back into a community where if one of them follow me, say over Albany House where everybody do, bury someone. Soon as they get home, everybody have them hand out. Wanting a handout because you work if you bury someone now, you're supposed to have money. No, it's not bury someone paying them, you know. It's me. And I only can pay what I charge and a percentage of what I charge. And that is the problem.
Well, I think each of us we just have to do what we can. You know, not throw up our hands and go, oh, what's the point? You know, but just keep investing. So how do you want to be remembered, Martin?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Maybe the pioneer as a black professional electronics technician who come out of the stereotype.
Well, let it be so.
Yeah.
Let it be so.
Yeah.
And with the school that's coming on stream, you will also hopefully be known as the Jamaican who returned home and invested in the country's youth and the country's, you know, musical industry
Yeah.
to the point where, you know, you've left a legacy of people who not only know the business and know what they're doing, but they want to stay here and do the business.
Yeah, because even this particular studio, I would say all the engineers who work for this particular studio, I gave them basic training on how to use the board and the patch bay and the mic and the vocal room. Not the Pro Tools, the computer. They'll run rigs around me when it comes to that. But I'm not interested in learning that, because anybody can learn that.
Alright. Well, we are at the end of this interview.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you for, you know, just taking the time to just share with us, you know, a little bit about, well, a lot about Martin and, you know, your hope for the future. You know, I'm happy to hear and to know that even, you know, though we see this cycle that tends to perpetuate when persons are poor and get the kind of skill that they tend to want to go, there is still hope that there are persons who will stay and will invest back into our valuable resource or people or music, you know. So this is it for me. I am Tanya Hurd, and it was nice talking to you, Martin.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you.